Hey everybody, welcome back to the Joyful Candle on YouTube. I'm McKenna, and if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for hopping on to watch. Today, I am going to be talking about, I can't even believe it, but mid-October empties. So it is October 14th right now, and I've already gotten through quite a few candles and like home beauty things through this first half of the month. So I like to split this series up into two different videos because otherwise if I just did all the empties at the end of the month, it's kind of a lot. So I like to split it up so I can talk a little bit more in depth about what I've been burning, what I've got through, that sort of thing. So anyways, grab a drink, grab some water, coffee, tea, whatever works best for you. I've got my cute little hydro jug here. I'm obsessed with this pattern. This came out in their fall collection. This is Blair. That's the name of the cup, what they named it through the collection. But super, super cute. This is the 40, is it the 40 ounce? 44 ounce? I think technically it's like 42 ounces, but this is a big, big, big cup. I used to be like major Stanley girl, loves, and I still like Stanley a lot, but I love that hydro jug. It's spill proof, so you can just flip the lid down and it's spill proof. So these are one of my favorites. So I've got my water in here. So let's go through some empties for the first half of October. So I've got quite a few candles here. Let's start with not the Bath & Body Works candles first, because I have quite a few Bath & Body Works ones that I got through. So I'm gonna start with, I talked about this, I did an in-depth review, but spiced cider from Capri Blue. And I took off the lid, and I'm gonna keep the lid because it's so pretty. So that's why it's not on here right now. But this is spiced cider from Capri Blue. Really nice, simmering kind of apple cidery scent. If you haven't seen my review, like in-depth review on this, go check it out because I did like individually review this one. But I burned it all the way down to the bottom of the wick clip. And right now you can see that it's like very, very smooth. Like it doesn't look like it had any issues. That's partly because at the very, very end of this, once it like stopped burning, I used my candle lamp to kind of get some of the extra fragrance out of the wax. This is a beautiful fragrance. If you like apple fragrances, this is a nice spiced apple. It's nothing to write home about, honestly. It's the biggest thing that I find from Capri Blue candles that I really love is just the aesthetic. Like this jar was absolutely beautiful. Let me zoom in a little bit. This jar is just stunning. It kind of like lights up and glows when it's burning. And even under the lamp, it was stunning under the lamp. So really, really pretty vessel. I thought I might keep this vessel, but I'm like, what am I gonna use this for? I have no idea. I have so many candles that I don't need to just hold on to random candles just to maybe put something in it down the road. So I enjoyed it. I really loved it when I had it, but I'm gonna, get rid of it and get it out of my home. Get rid of some clutter. I feel a little bit more like relieved with that instead of keeping it around for no reason. But I am gonna keep the lid because I may switch that lid onto one of my other Capri Blue candles. So yeah, I would say the downside with these is they tend to tunnel when they're burning. So that's kind of a downside because there is only one wick. And with these style jars, oftentimes it just doesn't, like you have to burn this in a hurricane for it to get even hot enough to think about pulling out all the way. So you kind of have to babysit these a little bit. I don't really mind that because especially when I only work 2-3 days a week. So when I'm home, like I can manage that. But for people who are not like candle people, like that part, maybe it just doesn't bother them if it tunnels. I just tend to be a little bit more in tune with like performance and experience with candles. So anyways, all of that to say is I really did like the scent. I would say it was probably, you'll have to go look at my review because I did review it in depth, but I think I rated it like a 7 to an 8, strength and throat wise. It mostly burned in my basement, and it was noticeable. Like, I went downstairs, I could notice the fragrance, but it wasn't like blow me out of the water sort of thing. It was a nice background, like apple spice fragrance. I think if you don't like gourmands, you would like this. This is just like cozy, kind of inviting, warm apple spice scent. So I enjoyed it. These are hard to get through just because they take a long time to burn. And I have so many other candles that I'm burning through that this is maybe like my second or third of these that I've gone through. So I'm thankful to be done with it. And they don't have the notes on the bottom, so check out my in-depth review if you'd like to watch that. Okay, next up, that's not Bath & Body Works, is my Berry Pumpkin Waffles. And I also did an in-depth review on this, so you guys can absolutely check that out. This was just a beautiful fragrance. I love this fragrance so much. Harry, please bring this back. This is so good. This is a really, really nice berry pumpkin waffle gourmand. A lot of people say that this reminds them of Captain Crunch. I think it reminds me a little bit more of like Captain Crunch berries because it has that like berry fragrance note to it. Most of the wax is gone, but this is just a really, like, you could burn this honestly year round. Like, there's not a ton of pumpkin in this. I'll read through the scent notes really quick. Fragrance notes of blueberry, pumpkin, cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, and vanilla bean. So this is just a gorgeous, it's very unique. Like, there's something about the pumpkin and there's not even a waffle note in here, which is kind of funny. So it must be like the nutmeg and the cinnamon kind of mixed together. I don't get a ton of clove, but this is a really, really nice kind of light gourmand. Like, if you're not a crazy gourmand lover, you might want to start with this first because it's really nice. This is beautiful. So they did not bring this back this year. This is a couple years old, but I mean, look at this label. Just so, so, so pretty. This is very berry forward. You kind of get that like crispy waffle note. Even like a little bit of powdered sugar. Like, it's sweet, it's waffly, it's kind of cereal-like, which is where I think I get the Captain Crunch berries. There's something about that note that it's like crunchy. So I don't know if that's like the crisp like top of a waffle with the, you know, sweet berries and maybe like a little bit of syrup in there. But I mean, this is just delicious. It's, like I said, it's not really pumpkin forward. So if you don't like pumpkin, I think you would still like this. It burned really, really well. This kind of happened at the end when a couple of the wicks came out, or they just like extinguished themselves. And that one pulled a little bit more, but I mean, it burned all the way down to the bottom. So love this one. I will constantly repurchase this one. This is not available now, but I did find it on Walmart. So if you're not following my LTK, go to my YouTube bio and I have a link for my LTK shop in there. I linked this candle in here. I can also link the video that I did an in-depth review because I put that link on there as well. But I found this on Walmart. So if you guys want this and want to try it, it is full price, but I mean, you can at least get it, which is awesome. So anyways, let's keep moving because I'm talking a little bit too much here. Okay, so I have 6 Bath & Body Works to go through. A lot of these I did in-depth reviews on, so you can go back and look at my playlist for some of these. But Autumn Drive, loved this one. This was a beautiful berry fragrance, very, very, very strong. This is more kind of body care like. I get mostly berry and vanilla, maybe a little bit of amber. The notes on this are wild raspberry, warm amber, and vanilla birch. This is just really, it's perfumey, it's pretty, it's really strong. Like, I burned this in my bathroom and it would like completely went out of the bathroom, into my master bedroom and into like the hallway. I can't remember what I rated this on my review video, but I would say like a 9 or a 10 throw wise. This is not fresh fruit. This is like I said in my review too that it's like a raspberry or like a blackberry. This is very perfumey, but I love it. I think it's really nice. It's perfect like bedroom fragrance. If you're trying to get like odors or something out of your house, like if you cooked something that was really strong, this would be a really good candle for that. It's not really like fall specific. This could be burned honestly year round. Like this would be good in summer too. Yeah, so the raspberry, the amber, vanilla. I mean, this was based off of the body care, so it kind of makes sense that it's perfumey. But I really enjoyed this one. I don't know that I'm gonna repurchase it. I'm not like obsessed with it, but I'm really glad I tried it because I did enjoy it. Okay, so that's my third candle empty. Next candle empty is mahogany apple. This is an oldie. Let's see, can anyone remember what year this is from? Let's find out. So if you didn't know, you can figure out when the candle was like made and poured. There's a number on the bottom. Most candles have this. Every company is just a little bit different with how they like put the numbers. But for Bath and Body Works, I always look at sorry, let me see if my camera will focus. This number here. So this last number is the last like digit of the year. So I think, as I've figured out over time, I also think they've changed these numbers because, oh wait, maybe not. I don't know. There's some sort of, they may have changed this so it's easier to read these now. But this is from 2021. So this was poured in 2021, so fall of 21. So it's 4 years old. It's time to get it out of my collection. Yeah. So it burned pretty good. It's still very strong. Very mahogany. So let me read the notes on this one. Notes of red mahogany woods, golden delicious apple, pink peppercorn, fresh lavender sprigs. I wonder if these are the same notes. Maybe I just never looked at these notes before, but it just seems interesting. So this candle was kind of all the rage recently, within like the last year or two, because this was like the Draco Malfoy candle of Harry Potter. Like this was Draco Malfoy in a candle. So kind of funny. But this is very mahogany forward. I like it, but I tend to not reach for mahogany type candles that much anymore. I'm more of like a gourmand sweet kind of lover now. This used to be more up my alley when I first started my candle journey. I still can enjoy a good mahogany candle, but this is kind of cologne-y. This is mostly mahogany, like mahogany teakwood, and then a little bit of apple. I don't really get lavender. I mean, this just smells like mahogany teakwood with apple in it. Maybe a little bit of pink peppercorn now that I look at those notes. But yeah, anyways, this one is kind of a classic. This one's been coming around for a while. It performed pretty well for me, but I have noticed like recently, especially a little bit of my older version of Bath & Body Works candles, the wicks, like, they dud out quick. This one ended up being fine. Like, it corrected itself and burned through all the way without having any issues. But, yeah, the wicks just get kind of puny, and so the flames aren't very high. And, yeah. So, anyways, I didn't have to correct this myself at all. It fixed itself. It burned all the way through. But I realized that halfway through, the candles start to get really low on flames, kind of the performance starts to dud out a little bit. So that's one reason I'm kind of just gravitating more towards soy wax nowadays. It's cleaner burning, it's just better. Now, I don't think I'm ever gonna completely get rid of Bath & Body Works in my collection. I really am trying to decrease my amount of Bath & Body Works candles and get it to a more manageable number. But you know, there's still some scents that I love from there that I'm gonna plan on picking up when I want to pick up. But I do kind of need to get, that's my biggest amount of candles that I have that I'm trying to like hone down my collection. So anyways, That, I guess I didn't give you a strength and throw. I would say for this is pretty strong, like mid to high strength throw of maybe like a 7 or an 8. So yeah. Okay, that was number 4. So I've got 4 more to get through. So I have 8 candle empties and then a couple beauty empties as well. So I'm gonna pick it up a little bit. Next one, I also did an in-depth review on this. Apple Crisp. I'm like so torn about this candle. I want to love this. And the funniest thing is my husband, who could never smell anything, he could smell this and he was like, ooh, I like that one. I can smell it. I'm like, of course. The one candle that I'm like, I want to love you, but you smell burnt. Of course, my husband's, he noticed that. Just funny. So Apple Crisp, I did do an in-depth review and you can see here, it did kind of get dirty. Kind of looks like there's an extra wick in there, but it's just like an extra, yeah, little piece. It burned fine. It burned all the way down. It did kind of get puny towards the end. But yeah, this one just to me had a scorched note to it. Now, someone commented on one of my videos that said that they really liked it, felt like it was toasty. And I totally get what they're saying with that because I do kind of get that. Like the scorched note could come across as more like a toasty, like apple crisp. But every time I would light it, and honestly with this one, I could only keep it lit for like an hour. And then I was like, nope, I'm done. I can't do it. So I like kind of hate burned this one towards the end just to get rid of it. But it just like, I would be like, oh, I don't want it to smell burnt in here. Like I have so many other apple fragrances that I love and enjoy that. Like, why do I need to buy something that I don't really love that much? Now I will say last year I melted this in the candle crock after it started to smell scorched. It was beautiful. No scorched notes, nothing. So maybe if I get my candle collection under a little bit more control, then I would consider repurchasing this to melt it. But also, like, I have so many other things that I enjoy and love. Like, why do I need to do that? So anyways, if you guys don't know what I'm referring to, I did do a whole in-depth review on this. This is pretty strong. I would say like I would say high strength and maybe like a throw of like a 9. I mean, let's read through the notes really quick. Caramelized apple, cinnamon crumble, and sugared oats. I feel like the caramelized apple almost comes across like burnt caramel, which is I think what I don't like. I don't know. There's just like a scorched element to it that I can't get over. And so I'm just like, I'm done. I was happy to get rid of this one. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I really want to love it, but I just don't like the scorched element to it. So I'd rather burn Apple Truffle by Caramel Sundays or, what's the other one that's kind of similar to this? I felt like I had another like oats type candle that I liked, but anyways, let's move on. Okay, next one is apple and charcoal. I really enjoyed this one. This one was from, oh, I thought it was from last year, but it says it's from 2023. So this has notes of sweet red apple and smoked charcoal. So this is kind of like a honey crisp apple with like a woodsy, like kind of smoky element to it. It's really nice. It comes across, it's very unique and different. It comes across pretty sweet when burning, but then you get kind of that smoky element to it. I will say my beef with this candle is it was so sooty. It was disgusting. Like I got halfway through and it was just like black. The wax was black. Like you can't really see it that much right now. But I mean, it burned all the way down. I didn't have to babysit it, which was nice. But like, look at all the soot around there. Like that just grosses me out. So when soy candles get soot, technically Bath and Body Works, they like to say now that they have a soy blend, but I mean, you can look on the jar. Like the ingredients literally say soybean oil and paraffin. So it's a paraffin wax blend. It grosses me out a little bit more when Bath & Body Works candles sit like this as opposed to like a soy blend. Now, soot is soot, but I feel like soy blend, I at least know the ingredients are clean, whereas this kind of grosses me out. So I have one more of these in my stash, and they didn't ever come back with this fragrance, and so I'm having a hard time trying to decide if I'm going to declutter and get rid of that, or just because of how this one performed, or if I'm going to save it and enjoy it. So very, very nice fragrance. I really like this. This was unique. I think if you like apple and you like woodsy type fragrances, you would like this. I will not say that it did not smell burnt ever. So like the charcoal, it was more of like a, just kind of like a smoky, like woodsy, fiery type aspect. But I don't think that it interfered enough to like, for me not to like it. I really enjoyed it. So it's kind of a unique one. I would say strength and thrill on that one was pretty strong. I burned it in my bathroom and then downstairs in my basement, and it was noticeable when I walked down there. So I would probably say like mid to high strength, throw of maybe like a 7. So it was a good performance. Okay, I really need to pick this up because I'm talking too much. Next one. So I've gotten through 6 candles, so I've got 2 to go. Pumpkin nut butter. I also did a review in-depth review on this one. I love this candle. It's so good. This came out last year in a member exclusive limited edition launch. Let me read through the notes really quick. Pumpkin spice, creamy nut butter, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Oh, it's so good. Like, this is so unique. The most similar candle I can think of that this reminds me of is pumpkin carving, but this has more of a nutty element to it that pumpkin carving does not have. This is a little bit more elevated. It's different. Like the creamy nut butter, I get like an almond or like hazelnut, maybe like a little bit of peanut, but mostly like an almond. It's like the perfect pumpkin cozy gourmand. Why did they not bring this back? I have no idea. This was considered new in their limited launch. So this and then Pumpkin Donut Shop came out last year as like a member exclusive limited edition thing. They need to bring this back. Like, this is so good. I would say performance was pretty good. It did get a little sooty. About halfway, this is kind of typical. The flames kind of started to peter out on me a little bit. I don't know, these look kind of like thick, ropey like wicks. So I noticed that tends to happen with those. Anyways, go watch my video on this if you have never tried this one, or if you have it in your collection and you haven't used it, get this baby out because I love this candle. That's all I have to say. Okay, next, pumpkin clove. This is also old. It's from that same collection that Mahogany Apple was in. So 2021. So I'm really trying to get through some of these older ones that I don't need in my house anymore. This is a classic from Bath & Body Works. This comes out every year. Notes of clove buds, ground cinnamon, a pinch of nutmeg, and fresh pumpkin. This started to smell kind of scorched, like the clove note towards the end. But this is a nice, like, kind of creamy, spicy pumpkin. This is like white pumpkin, but as an orange pumpkin. It's like we have, I would say pumpkin clove and white pumpkin are like equal in spiciness, like spicy, creamy pumpkin. But this is the orange version and white pumpkin's the white version. So it's good. It's a classic. I honestly, when I got towards the end of this, I'm like, ugh, I'm just kind of sick of this. Like, I'm not loving it anymore. It did kind of get pretty spicy on me. You can see it burned like decently well. This is just the last wick that extinguished itself. Anyways, this one was fine. I think I got kind of sick of it towards the end. So yeah, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I got through 8 candles at the beginning of October. I also decluttered and sold like $200 worth of candles. So I'm really, really happy about that. I think it ended up being like, I sold a lot of like half burned candles for like $3 each. And then I sold about 12 full candles. So I was really happy. I think I ended up getting like 30 candles out of my collection. So yeah, I'm in pretty good shape for the month of October. I need to keep up the momentum. I'm pretty motivated. I think what's hard is like when I get rid of things, I'm like, yes, I got this. And then I look at my collection, I'm like, I didn't even make a dent. Even though I did, I did put in the effort. I made a little extra cash that I ended up using towards my caramel sundaes wants. So anyways, just besides the point, but let me finish up this video so that I can wrap it up. Okay, I did go through a little wax shell. This was Autumn Hearth. This is a couple years old, and I don't think they came back with this year. But this is a nice, like, appley, like, baked apple type fragrance. I'd have to look up the notes because Scentsy doesn't put them on their clamshells. But yeah, it's nice. It's like, it's appley, like kind of like a baked apple with some spices. Maybe like cinnamon, nutmeg. But yeah, it's nice. So I enjoyed that one. I've been using up that. And then a couple beauty empties. So I did get through another EOS lotion. You guys are probably like, geez, how much lotion do you go through? A lot. I live in Colorado, so it gets really dry here in the winter. I also just like, I've always used a lot of lotion. Every time I shower, I put lotion on. And I'm also a dentist for a living, and so I'm washing my hands a lot. So I'm constantly like washing my hands, putting lotion on. So anyways, I got through Jasmine Peach. This one was fine. It was different. This honestly would be a much better like spring fragrance. It felt a little out of season for me. It does have a really nice like fresh peach fragrance to it, but it also, the jasmine is kind of floral. So there's like a tiny little bit left. I'm gonna get out here, put on my hands. Yeah, it's just kind of fresh and florally. Let me see. Yeah, so it says apricot nectar, sparkling jasmine, and vanilla sugar. I didn't get a ton of vanilla from this. I get mostly like jasmine and fresh peach. Well, I mean, now that I see that apricot nectar, it does kind of smell more like an apricot. It was nice. Like I said, it felt a little out of season. It started to cool down a little bit here, so I like a little more like cozy gourmand type fragrances. But as I've talked about before, this is my like new favorite body lotion. This stuff is awesome. It is so moisturizing, and actually like it's thick, but also like it spreads on the skin very, very smoothly. And I love this stuff. Like, it must be the shea butter in here that really just helps, but this is like my new favorite lotion. I will never stop buying this just because of how nourishing it is. I feel like it really helps like moisturize my hands and my skin. And yeah, so I use this, and I do like hemp's too, but I've noticed the more that I've used this, like hemp's is very, very light, and it's not as thick and moisturizing as this is. And so part of me is like, if I'm gonna spend $8-9 to get a body lotion like hemp's or this, I'm gonna pick this. I really, really like this. So anyways, if you guys have never tried this before, they have these at Target, Walmart, and you can buy them on their store online. So I really want to get the peppermint cashmere that comes out seasonally. I loved peppermint cashmere last year, so yeah. Okay, and then I'm gonna talk really quickly about this body cream, this Bath & Body Works body cream that I got through. This one is one of my favorites. This is Together Weather. This I had at my bedside, near my bed at night. I would use this every night before I go to bed. So it took me a little while to get through, but this has notes of blushing breeze, sugared cardamom, and soft cedar. Oh, I just love this. So this is Together Weather, if I didn't say that already. This is just like, okay, so a little background about this. This fragrance came out as an aromatherapy collection, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago. It was called Cinnamon and Sandalwood. It was like a purpley packaging. I picked it up, I loved it. And sure enough, they came out with the next year, I think it was 2 years later or a year later, something like that. They came out with Together Weather, excuse me. And I was like, those notes sound really similar. And I smelled it and I was like, that smells like the aromatherapy one that I love. So they basically like made this into a line in the Bath & Body Works lineup instead of keeping it as an aromatherapy fragrance. And I love this. This is so, it's not like spicy at all. This is so unique. It's so hard to describe. You definitely get the cedar, but it's kind of sweet and sugary and clean. Blushing breeze, I don't know what that's supposed to smell like. Maybe a little bit of cardamom, but this is just unique, guys. I feel like there's something else in this. I don't know if it's definitely not lavender. It's almost like a berry note, but I'm obsessed with this. I think I've gone through like 3 of these, and as you can tell, it's like all gone. So if you guys have never tried Together Weather, hopefully they'll come back with this. I loved this packaging. I thought it was so pretty. Just the beautiful like pink, purpley vibes. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna stop this video because this is now very long. But hopefully you guys enjoyed my empties. I think it's always fun to see what people get through, and kind of, the best way to review fragrances is to hear how, they burned all the way through. So yeah, hopefully I can keep this momentum going through the rest of October. Cannot believe it's October. Time is flying. So hopefully I can keep this momentum through the rest of October, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new here and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It helps out my channel a ton. I am the Joyful Candle, aka McKenna, and I love everything home fragrance, candles, all of the above. Anything that smells good, that's kind of what I talk about on this channel. So, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.